Welcome to another episode of Touring the AFC South. I am your host, Mike Patton. And on this episode, we're going to have a very, very special episode. I guess giving flowers to someone that, or two people that, or a show, I should say, that kind of, I guess guided me and had an effect on me, and a show that will be sorely missed as the final episode was recorded and put out yesterday. Now we're going to get to that show, what the name of that show is, and kind of get into in depth on a few things on it, talking about it, paying homage to it, and giving them their respect and their flowers. We're going to get to that in a second. But, first, of course, the Get Off Your Chest segment, as we do every episode. In this episode, I want to, say rest in peace to Willie Mays. Now, of course, Willie Mays was an incredible baseball player, played for the Giants, first New York Giants, then when they moved to San Francisco Giants. Incredible player. Everyone remembers the basket catch, but you don't think about all the power numbers. You don't think about just the incredible grace, the incredible way that he played. And of course, he passed away before he was able to see the game that took place in Birmingham. Wasn't able to make it, and of course, unfortunately, passed away during it as well. So, I want to say rest in peace to Willie Mays, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Yes, of all time. And he will be sorely, sorely missed. Rest in paradise, Willie Mays. Just wanted to start the show with that for the Get Off Your Chest segment. Definitely going to be missed. But what else is going to be missed in terms of a show that I watched a lot, now I listened to a lot when I wasn't able to watch it, is Brother from Another. Now, if you didn't catch the news, here, I'll play the clip for you, just a little bit of it, just as to what kind of, and it kind of shocked me. I read the title, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And sure enough, it was what I expected, or what I expected when I read the title, I should say. But here, I'm just going to give you a clip. This is from the show yesterday.
I'm definitely going to miss the theme music. I'm definitely going to miss the theme music. Like, we did a lot of things well. We did a lot of things not so well over the last just about 4 years. We nailed the theme music, and that never got old. If you notice, I'm talking in past tense. Michael, go ahead and make the formal announcement.
This is our last show. This is the last show in this space, Brother from Another. Today is our final show, and this is the first time that I've actually said that. I've actually said that aloud and just kind of sat with it and said, well, I don't want to talk about that right now, or, well, we'll see. No, this is it.
Yeah, it's over. Brother from Another, 4 years. Peacock, if you listen to it on Peacock or watch it on Peacock, or if you listen to the show on, whatever listening platform you listen on. Yes, that was the last time you will hear Brother from Another in that form as well. They, of course, they had some, some walks down memory lane, things like that as well. Just wanted to say I thoroughly enjoyed the show, caught it whenever I could, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on, trying to watch it on Peacock, or also listening to it, whether it be on Spotify or wherever. I definitely was a supporter of the show. And two people that, I've been watching Michael Holley since he was on like Around the Horn, back when he had like locks, things like that. Some people that watch the show, Brother from Another, probably did not know that. Of course, maybe I don't know how long they've been keeping up with Michael Holley, but yeah, at one point Michael Holley had like long locks at one point. But of course, the time has passed, and of course I've been following Michael Smith since back to ESPN days, him and Jamel Hill. I mean, and then of course, brother from another. Now probably will still see him on Amazon Prime, of course, with Thursday night football games, but definitely they were two people that definitely had an effect on me. I definitely watched their show and how they kind of handled things, and basically, it was basically a conversation that went on, and they had guests that come in as well, but it was a conversation definitely pretty much throughout the entire show. It wasn't something that seemed forced. It was just something that flowed, and I can commend them for that, because the show just flowed for the time that it was on, whether it be an hour or going a little over an hour or 2 hours or just whatever amount of time the show was on. It just seemed like the show just flowed, and it didn't seem like you were there for that amount of time. And that's something that I took with me to this podcast and any podcast that I do, is that I try to make it flow, so people don't seem like that. Wow, I've really been there for 45 minutes, stuff like that, because it just makes the show easier, to digest as well, in terms of just the flow. And I do have to say, they also definitely attacked a lot of different subjects. Didn't matter if it was rough subjects or hard to talk about subjects at all. They took it head on. They, addressed it, and they allow for nuance and things like that as well, which I have to give the utmost props to them for all the things that they tackled and handled. There were a good bit of difficult subjects that they talked about on the show, and I have to commend them for that. And also, of course, those that don't know, I did actually make an appearance on the show, not once, but twice. Here was the first one that I actually made.
In approximately 48 hours, we may have some kind of clarity as to whether the Jaguars have in fact zeroed in on Georgia's Trayvon Walker, who is now the betting favorite to go first overall in the 2022 NFL draft. Supposedly they were, discussing 4 players. For the longest time, we thought Aiden Hutchinson would go number 1, but the Jaguars keeping the intrigue alive, and the buzz is that they're going to go Trayvon Walker. They're going to go with the workout more than the production. And with that, given how the AFC South is ruling the top of this draft, you got Jacksonville number 1, you got Houston at 3 and 13 in the first round. Who better to educate us than Mike Patton, the host of Touring the AFC South? Mike, it's good to have you, man. You got the name, you fit right in. Welcome to Brother from Another. Glad to welcome you into the brotherhood, into the family. So let's start with Jacksonville, man. What do you know about which way they're leaning and which way in your...
As you can see, that was probably a couple of years ago that I was on the show. That was my first appearance. It wasn't my last. I did have another appearance as well, talking about the draft. Of course, more specifically, when C.J. Stroud and was coming out of the draft, and talking about that, and going over different things that that happened as well. Kind of I guess giving a look back on the first round. Definitely was a great experience. Definitely was a highlight of for me. Definitely was a highlight because it all happened because of the tweet. Now, plenty of people have heard me say the story, but I don't know if I've ever said it on air. But how I got on Brother from Another was basically I had someone that follows me, and someone that likes my work mentioned to them on Twitter about me and needing to bring me on to talk about the AFC South. And it just so happened that I guess they were paying attention to that, and voila, it happened. They connected with me, and I got on the show. actually talk about and bring expertise about the AFC South. And, I can definitely just say that was a great experience for me. It actually did a lot to, help me think that, hey, I can do this. I knew I could do this, and I know that, I had the ability to do this, but it even more, I guess verified that I could do this, that I could bring the knowledge and I could do the things. And of course, with other conversations, which, I won't go all the way in depth into, but definitely, they received encouragement to just continue to, be who I am, bring the things that I bring, and be confident in those things as well when I say them. So, definitely, again, want to, give props to Michael Holley and Michael Smith, brother from another show. Loved the show, loved being on the show, loved interacting with both of you. Greatly appreciate you. And I hated that, the show is ending, but, had to pay my respects to the show and to great, amazing people for the time that I got to talk to them as well. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm kind of, pretty much this show is going to be all talking about brother from another. So, I've got to talk about the different things that I enjoyed about the show. Of course, obviously got to talk about that. We're going to get into that after the commercial break on Touring the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off on these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get this the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, and we are back on Touring the AFC South. And like I mentioned before the commercial break, I kind of wanted to go over, some things that, I enjoyed about brother from another. Now, one thing I did enjoy is getting introduced to new people. I mean, they introduced me to some very, very entertaining and very, very knowledgeable people that I absolutely enjoyed watching on this show. I definitely got to say, I was just going to mention a few, mention three, but there was plenty of guests that I enjoyed on the show. One of those got to be Vincent Goodwill or Vinny or Vince. Hey, we going to call all three names, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I definitely enjoyed watching Vince Goodwill, Vinny, Vince, Vincent, however. But I definitely got to know him more through the show, which was awesome because, I've read his work, but I didn't get to, of course, see him in action, I should say, but, I had, been very familiar with him from the Bomani Jones show, The Right Time with Bomani Jones. And whenever those two get together, it's always entertaining. It's always, you're always going to get some good information. You're always going to get entertainment, and you're also just a good free flow of the show. So I definitely, was familiar there. And then, of course, he was on Brother from Another, hosted a few shows with Michael Holley as well. And, of course, I listen to his podcast, The Good Word with Goodwill. It's always a good, entertaining show, and it also is very educational and gives you a lot of information that maybe you did or did not know. So I got to show respect to him. Became more familiar with him through Brother from Another. And, he definitely is a guy that spits out a lot of great information, also very entertaining, and, definitely handles his business. Of course, we got Cortland Griffin showing up through the Touring The AFC South inbox. And what's up? What's going on, man? What is going on? And if you're late on the show, we're paying respects to Brother from Another. Their last episode aired yesterday. They made the announcement on the show. I played that clip a little earlier in this episode as well. So, kind of paying respects and then talking about the things that I enjoyed in terms of the show. And, of course, meeting new people, new faces, or getting introduced to new faces and people that you had not been introduced to at first is awesome. Now, I'm also mentioning, folks, that I kind of saw for the first time. I'm gonna save a little bit of the other stuff for the next segment. You'll get what I'm saying there. Another person that I got introduced to on this show is Kelly Lawson Freeman. Now, right now she was working for Yahoo Sports more at the time when she was on the show, but of course now she works for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, covering the Las Vegas Aces, and of course going to be doing some UNLV stuff as well. And I mean, she always dropped some good knowledge, always had good articles, and she always handled her own when she came on the show. Got to say I greatly appreciated all the information she dropped. All the she definitely spoke with passion when she definitely spoke with passion on the show. Definitely talking about the WNBA and talking about just all the different sport things going on in sports. And I gotta show respect to her handling her business on the show. Definitely doing her thing. Also, another person I want to definitely talk about is Liv Moods. Now, I must say I was not aware of Liv Moods before I watched the show, but after watching the show, I mean, I just enjoyed, the passion that she spoke with every time that she was on the show, the energy that she brought, and she definitely brought a different element every time she was on the show, or if she was hosting or any of that nature, those things, especially, also with Callie as well, because she did do some hosting as well. But, I got to show respect to those three. But there's plenty of other guests, and all the guests on there brought the energy, brought knowledge, and it just seemed like a free-flowing conversation, which is the best way to listen to any podcast, in my opinion. So or just one that's an organized podcast, I should say. It was definitely a show that was well put together, and you got to thank the producers, which I'll get into one producer in particular after the break in a minute. But definitely you've got to say that it was a show that introduced you to faces that you may not have been familiar with, or you've been maybe reading their work and you just hadn't heard them or seen them. And that was a great thing. I mean, of course, Liv was doing I think she was working for Volume at the time, but of course now she's with FanDuel, Guerrilla Sports, and Baller Alert, doing a lot of different things. And she, like I said, she never held back. Gave her opinion, and she was always going to be passionate about her opinion, and throw some passion and some throw some passion behind it as well, which I thoroughly enjoyed when she was on this show as well. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and I'm going to get into one other thing that I really commend Michael Holly and Michael Smith for doing through their show as well. We're going to get into that and more after the commercial break on Touring the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we are back on Touring the AFC South. Again, paying respects to Michael Holley and Michael Smith, the duo who brought us Brother from Another. End of an era, 4 years, last show yesterday. I just wanted to kind of take time to pay respects to them, pay respects to all the great things that they did as well. And one of the other great things that they also did was they always rep for Black women. I've got to say that, you know, my show does that as well, and has done that from the outset. But you know, of course, they set a great bar as well. You know, they set a great bar for their show. I mean, you had the shows that were basically all women hosting the shows. You know, the Ladies First Friday, and of course Women's Wednesday. For those that kept up with the show and watched the show a lot or listened to it, and those were greatly appreciated. I was like, man, it's awesome. You're giving Black women a voice, giving them a show, giving them a whole entire time in space. And it was, you know, in this day and era where, you know, Black women are definitely, you know, they're targeted by some people, unfortunately. And, you know, it's great to see Black women given a space, you know, to be themselves, to talk, to own the space, to run the show, which I thought was incredible and awesome. That, you know, they use their power with Brother from Another to create that and to bring that environment and that space. You know, a few people I want to mention that, you know, definitely that I know that I've actually, you know, had on my show is, you know, I was looking up and I'm seeing people and I'm like, wow, you know, I've had these people on the show, and I was so proud of them to see them on these, on Brother from Another, you know, hosting, you know, the Ladies First Friday or the Women's Wednesday. You know, that would be Rita, the NFL chick, man. I mean, Rita is awesome. Rita is just a walking encyclopedia on a lot of different things, and she's going to give her opinion, and she's also going to give you facts in that opinion as well. And I greatly appreciate her for that. And I was so proud of her when I saw her on the show and saw her continually pop up, whether it's hosting with Michael Holley, whether it's, you know, Women's Wednesday, Ladies First Friday. You know, I gotta say that it was awesome to see her on there, and I was so proud of her when I saw her on there. Now, another person, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Now, known Kelsey for a long time, and you know, seeing her on the shows, hosting the shows, whether it be with Rita, sometimes be with Nat, which we're going to talk about later, and also just seeing her on there, I was so proud of her, and I was happy to see her on there, and just, I mean, she did an excellent job, as she always does. Another person, Tarika Foster Brasby. Now, Tarika, me and her got introduced, I would say, probably more through talking about the Indianapolis Colts. She's a Colts fan, by the way. Don't tie into the AFC South. But, you know, I would say she has always been a stand-up person. She is always someone that is going to talk about, you know, things that are passionate to her. She's always going to bring a great opinion about it, give you an education as well For those that follow the WNBA, if you don't know, you need to know Tarika Foster Brasby. She's one of the forefront voices on the WNBA, in my opinion. And she can definitely, she definitely handles her own. So, I was so proud to see her on there and doing her thing, and then just watching her growth over the years and watching, where she is now. Just, hey, I always joke with her that, hey, this year was her year. And I wasn't joking. I was basically just, I guess, pumping her up, saying, hey, this is your year. This is this. And it's so great to see all those things coming to fruition, and just to see her on, Brother from Another, coming on there, either being a guest or hosting with Natalie or whoever on, Women's Wednesday or Ladies First Friday. It was always awesome to see her on there and handling her own, doing her thing. Much respect to Rika, and much respect Kelsey, and much respect to Rita as well. I'm just naming just a few, a few that I know and a few that, I just want to recognize. And then also, last, of course, certainly not least, I cannot forget Nat. Now, plenty know her from the Go in the Spaces pod, and she definitely is a big fan of Steph Curry, and definitely keeps up with the Golden State Warriors. And if you don't know who Nat is, just know, don't talk bad about Steph Curry around here. Don't do that. Yeah, you might get a whole speech, but just in all, just getting back to the the gist of me talking about, always repping for Black women. I mean, you seeing her in Golden Spaces, things like that. You see her pop up on Brother from Another, and okay, like boom, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, she's actually working at, with Brother from Another, and then that right there was awesome to see. It was awesome to see that she was able to go from being on the show to being a part of the kind of production of the show, producing things like that, and definitely popping in, still giving her opinions, and still being part of the discussions as well. I got to show mad respect to Nat. I mean, you did something that a lot of people dream of doing, which is going from being, someone that's a guest, or being someone that, sees the show, to being a part of the show, being part of helping produce it, helping put it together as well. I mean, of course, you hosted on Women's Wednesday and Ladies First Fridays, a few times as well, or plenty of times, I should say. But, definitely had to show respect to you, and just these four women alone, they repped hard, in terms for Black women on Brother from Another, and Michael Smith and Michael Holly get the utmost respect, or you got to give them props for actually, bringing them in, giving them the space, allowing these Black women, there's plenty more, but allowing these Black women to be able to be themselves, or not allowing, but giving them the space to be themselves, and being unapologetic about it. And I had to commend Michael Smith and Michael Holly for that. And all the Black women that showed up on the show and showed out on this show, I should say. You did your thing. Greatly appreciate all of you. Greatly appreciate talking to all of you when you all were guests on my show, as well. And hopefully, of course, down the road, I'll be able to see you all again on my show. But yeah, definitely greatly appreciate all of you. Definitely greatly appreciate Brother from Another. 4 years, show's ended. Hey, they say all good things have to come to an end, but I don't think anyone or any of the fans of the show were ready for the end to be now. But it is what it is. It's happened. And I wish Michael Holly and Michael Smith nothing but the best. I know great things are ahead in their futures. I mean, they're very, very talented brothers. I know anyone would love to have them, and the wealth of knowledge and the great things that they're able to do, would love to have them on their team. And I know there's only great things on the horizon for both of them. Just had to come on and pay my respects, dedicate a show to them because they actually had an impact on me. Whether, I get to tell them, I'm telling them through this show, but, I wanted to just publicly put out there that they had a great effect on me. Now, their show, the Right Time with Monty Jones, Jamel Hill, those shows have had a great effect on me and how I've grown as a podcaster or a producer or just as a host, allowing y'all to see me while I actually record and do different things. And it's actually live. So, this just watching and picking up on different things. Maybe I need to do better, asking questions, all those different things. I greatly appreciated brother from another. Greatly appreciate Michael Smith. Greatly appreciate Michael Holly. And you all will be sorely missed in this pantheon of media in terms of from brother from another. And of course, I'm pretty sure we'll probably see, other different things pop up. I would love to see, another iteration of, Holly and Smith, somewhere, but hey, we'll see what happens. Only time knows that, and only time can tell on that one, I should say. But thank you all for tuning in to the show. Of course, my name is Mike Patton. I'm, of course, the host of Touring The AFC South. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter, word to Prince at Mike Patton 82. That's MikePatton 82. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at that's CHA, not THE, _general_MP. You can also find Touring The AFC South on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And also, you can find us on YouTube, where you can go and click the like button. You can actually subscribe, hit the bell as well, so that way you can get notified anytime any videos pop up. Again, I want to thank you again for tuning into this episode of Touring The AFC South. We're out. Peace.